Hey y'all, what is up? This is Rosie, and I was thinking a lot about the comedy that I used to like in the 80s. Some of it was British comedy, and I was introduced to British comedy by my mother, who used to like Benny Hill. I used to love watching Benny Hill with her. We would laugh so hard at some of his skits, his funny faces, a lot of the comedy would be seen today as misogynistic, but back then that was just the comedy, it was just the way it was. And so I really miss stuff like that. Another British television show that I used to love, it used to come on MTV on Sunday nights, and it didn't last for very long, but for as long as it did last, I used to watch it. And also sometimes it came on Comedy Central. Well, back then it was called the Comedy Channel, but now it's called Comedy Central, and they used to play it on there. It's called The Young Ones. I adored that show. Mike, Neil, Rick, and Vivian. Of course, I can remember their names. That was my sense of humor back then, and I miss shows like that. Of course, Monty Python's Flying Circus. I don't know why you can't see these shows in syndication anymore, and I wish I could find them on DVD. The Young Ones was on DVD, but whenever I find it on eBay, it's never on there for very long. So I'm hoping that one of these days I can get it. Another show that I liked was called Blackadder. Blackadder starred Rowan Atkinson. Some of you don't know who the heck I'm talking about, but if you know Mr. Bean, you know who Rowan Atkinson is, and he is the one who starred in Blackadder. I just miss stuff like that, and I hate that it doesn't come on anymore. I guess because that type of comedy wouldn't fly today. Some people would see it as cancelable. A lot of people would see it as misogynistic, or, today there's just so much going on that if you can't laugh at stuff like that, and you can't just try to find your way past being offended at everything, then what's it worth, What's it worth? Speaking of offensive comedy, one of my favorite comedians was Sam Kinison. He was the heavy metal comedian, and I absolutely adored him. His comedy was very offensive, very offensive. He told a lot of gay jokes. He told a lot of, just a lot of stuff that people wouldn't find funny today. Like I said, his comedy would not fly. Two of my favorite comedy specials was by, not Sam Kinison, even though I do adore him, but by Eddie Murphy. And that was Delirious and Raw. I have both of those on DVD, and I love to break those out whenever I can and watch them. And some years back, he was made to apologize for some of the jokes he told back then. I think it was even said that Richard Pryor made him apologize for those jokes. And you can't really get past it anymore by saying, well, it was just different times, because people don't go for that anymore. They don't say that, they say that it's still not okay. But, I mean, it just is what it is. It really was different times back then. Andrew Dice Clay. Andrew Dice Clay was canceled before canceling was even a thing. He was banned from MTV and, just basically went into obscurity. But even my mom laughed at Andrew Dice Clay because he was just funny. Bill Hicks is another one. He was another heavy metal comedian. And their comedy just wouldn't get past the censors today. And I think a comedian today that pretty much took up where they left off is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is known as the GOAT, but he is pissing a lot of people off. And I think where Dave Chappelle is messing up is that he keeps harping on this one topic, and it's starting to piss people off. It's like at first, it's like, okay, Dave, yeah, that's funny, haha, now let it go. But he just keeps bringing it up in every single comedy special. And I believe he does it because he knows it pisses people off. And he just needs to let it go because it's not funny anymore. And, but he is taking offensive to a whole new level, which is what comedians of the past would do. And, like I said, he's just doing it for the sake of being offensive. And I guess that's fine, and to some people it's funny, but to me it's not funny anymore, which is why I don't support him anymore. I do love Dave Chappelle, I do. I just can't support him until he gets off the topic that he's been on for the past, 3-4 years now. It's time to just let it go and do something else. But I loved the comedy that people would now find offensive. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you did too. I'm a Gen Xer, that's what we do. We had very dark senses of humor growing up. We grew up with Saturday Night Live when they had Buck Henry on there, I think that's his name. And he played a character on SNL that was a creepy uncle who babysat little girls, played by Gilda Radner and I forgot that other woman's name, but once I remember it, I will put it in the video. But that comedy today definitely would not make it past the censors. It would not go today. It would not fly. Even I found that a little bit offensive, but like I said, that's just how it was back then, and we laughed at it and we accepted it. And there's just so much comedy that is taken away from us, that is hidden from us, that people, they dig into the past and they bring it back up. And it's unnecessary because there is a lot more going on in the world today that's scary, and it's a lot scarier than what a comedian said sometime before you were born. And I think people need to look at that and go, yeah, maybe us getting mad at this is a bit ridiculous, because it is. I mean, it's comedy. Comedy is supposed to toe the line of offensive and maybe even a little bit, I don't know, unnecessary. They're taking away a lot of what makes comedy comedy. Yes, it hurts. And what I'm saying is, it hurts is comedy does hurt sometimes. Being laughed at does hurt sometimes. Being made the butt of the joke, being made fun of, it does hurt sometimes. But if you don't like it, you can change the channel, you can watch something else. If you don't like being at the comedy show, walk out. Nobody's holding you there. Ask for your money back. But don't take it away from somebody else. Don't ruin it for somebody else, because what you don't think is funny is indeed funny to somebody else. And it doesn't, should it be canceled? No, because then what's freedom of speech? Freedom of speech is no longer free. The freedoms we have today are no longer free. And I just think it's a damn shame that so much of what we grew up with is being hidden away and walled up and kept in a vault. And a lot of the stuff could be made into teachable moments, but instead it's being hidden. And I don't know why, but Yeah, I loved a lot of the comedy that I grew up with, a lot of the shit that's seen as offensive, because it was funny. I have a dark sense of humor, and like I said, comedy does hurt sometimes, but it's supposed to. It's supposed to test your limits. And if you cannot go the limit, if you can't go the distance, then just don't watch it. But anyways, I'm going to leave it to you guys. I'm opening up the comment section. What do you guys think? What were some of your favorite comedy shows growing up? Who are some of your favorite comedians? What did you laugh at as a kid? And with that, I'm going to go. As usual, there is a donations link in the description. If you guys would hit that, help me out, support my channel. It would help me out more than you guys would realize, and I thank you in advance. But like I said, I'm going to go. I love you so much for wasting time with me. I hope to see y'all on the next upload, and bye for now.